That's right. Does anybody remember George Bush, the daddy? Rise up, talking to the Shias. Rise up. And they rose up, and Saddam slaughtered them. Boy, that's a good God Almighty. I didn't say it's your fault, listen to the white man, but they left Saddam what he need to keep them in pocket. Because see, 70% of Iraq is Shia. 90% of Iran is Shia. So you don't have to worry. But they have to cause some division because some of Iraqis may not be fully in Walayat Iraqis, stuff like that. I don't have the authority to speak on that because I'm colored. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. So no, I've seen it before. I've seen like white folks mention a few things, and they scholars, even the white folks, they be burning up. You don't have the authority. That's I told us so and so, cracker. That's the only time they say that's what it is. So now me being colored, I know what to say and what not to say. There's things that I've hinted to for years. You have to solve this problem. They don't solve it. Ain't nothing the nigga can do. I mean, nothing the brother can do. Because it involves, I guess, things like margiyat, stuff like that. It's important, but it's not to us. We don't know what it is, right? Okay, what's the other question? Go ahead.
I just happened to watch a documentary on China, but it was basically talking about how World War II started.
Right.
In the documentary, it mentioned that, because you had mentioned Operation Barbarossa. So
Right, Barbarossa, yeah.
and it actually mentioned that the Chinese, on 2 occasions, had their own code breakers.
Yeah.
And they actually had informed that through code breaking, that Operation Barbarossa was getting ready to happen.
Right.
And even Pearl Harbor, they had actually, had information.
Yes, it definitely had it on Pearl Harbor.
Okay.
Right.
I didn't they know. Actually knew it was coming, and they let it happen. And they let.
Okay.
What you said.
Right, right. Yeah.
They didn't believe that the Chinese were supposed to. They didn't want to listen to them because they didn't think they were smart enough.
That's okay.
To have that type of, knowledge or resource to give that information. So that's why.
Okay, see, when you take World War II, that was the last U.S. stand, big stand. It was the last massive over there oceans, over there wars, and safe here at home. That was it. But World War I and World War II was like that. The U.S. was fully blessed. Okay, we call it the Qadr of Allah. Number one, if Barbarossa if they would have moved on Barbarossa, then the Germans would not have ran all the way like Napoleon all the way into Russia. Right? Let's say if, we don't say if, but if Stalin would have had some knowledge of it, although he'd kill all his military leaders, still they could have defended. That's a long way from Poland all the way to Moscow and Stalingrad. Man, that's a long way. But let them in. That's why we say from Stalingrad to Oakland. That's what we say. And you seen our thing. That's the way we're dealing with the U.S. You didn't understand longevity and patience. Everything you did, we let you do that. We cheered you on. All the niggas, everything that happens, all the stuff, stealing property, they can't do it. Do it, do it, do it. And we'll get back to California when we get ready. You know why? Hell, it's a damn, excuse my expression, it's a doggone, it's a great war, and those things are not important at this stage of the game. A masjid or a building. We got 8 pieces of property here. When we get ready to do something with it, we'll have the people to do it. Right? It was all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the way we study these wars in detail. Other people don't even talk about them. But when we talk about one of them, it's specific. If we talk about Chosin Reservoir in Korea, it's a special thing that was big then, but it's big now. Boogity, 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 boogity. The white folks run up. Boogity, 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 boogity. And then, come on up. And whoosh, chopped them. The Germans, come on in. Whoosh, chopped them. They stopped them at Stalingrad. We stopped the white folks years ago. We stopped America. When we changed the name, when we said from Stalingrad to Oakland, they were technically stopped then. Just because they doing stuff now and all that, no. They were stopped in their tracks then. They don't understand it, but we do. You got to remember, nobody thinks of the Negro as comprehensive. I don't care what you do. I don't think that. Negro's not comprehensive. The Negro is not deep. The Negro doesn't understand the global things. He can't hold it all in his mind. There's not enough room upstairs. Fine, Mr. Peckerwood. Go over our discussions and see who understands the globe and who don't. Boss man don't. Can you imagine that you didn't had 5 fights and lost every one of them? That means you're getting old. That means, and it happens to everybody, the British. How often are we incorrect? What's our batting average? Right? I mean, from now, recently, you go over our batting average and you go over boss man's batting average. Whether it's the Middle East, whether it's Afghanistan, whether it's Pakistan, whether it's with China, right? Whatever it is, what's their average and what's ours? Unbelievable. But that's the gift. That's our gift. Yeah, that's our gift. That's what we're going to beat them with. Now, it's not we're going to beat them. Technically, they've already. See, I know y'all don't believe in this stuff, but you ever heard of the vibrating hand? You heard of it, I'm sure. Vibrating. This is Bruce Lee. All right. Don't worry about it. If you get hit with the vibrating hand, you walk on off and go about doing about your business. Then 6 months later, you walking down the street and collapse. It's just a myth. But we do those myths in our struggle with the white man. And we always doing that because it actually works. I don't want to be off the point, but You know, in chess, that was a group of young Negroes playing chess, not the ones with the guy here in D.C., but this is up in Jersey. And the young Negroes got good, and they was playing all these rich white folks. And in the movie, it shows that the white folks had all these medallions, and the Negroes was looking at them, and they got distracted from what they were doing, that they got to be better than us. There was one little Negro that beat his opponent, and he thought them as ninjas and this, that, and other. He was off on a trip somewhere, right? And this one is a Zuzu man, this, that, and he wasn't paying no attention, and he beat his opponent. They didn't beat till they got over that little psychological, here these are white folks. They have wealth, position, and status. And basically, we're niggas from the Negro community. Our school don't even have windows. Niggas looking out, the wind blowing in. Inferiority complex. But the one that didn't pay no attention to that, he beat his opponent to death. That's the same way we are. I'm not bragging. I don't even know how we could lose. We would have to, because we're so far ahead already, we could wait them out. Boss man, he done been whooped so bad, so regular. Look at it. Hey, he done lost all his last 5 fights. When a champion that was bad loses 5 fights in a row, what is he up to? Boss man done lost 5 championship fights in a row, no matter who he was fighting. Big shot, little shot. He done lost all 5 fights, right? And the other people with all the stuff against them, they ain't never been out. They haven't been out. They haven't even been down. The numbers been against them, but Iran have never been out. Hezbollah have never been out. Out on their feet, maybe, but not out laying back. We can't do nothing, right? Our team got children being bombed. They stuff his arm as big as your finger, and they ain't out. Something's going on, right? Tell the truth. That is stickability, man. That's bad. That's serious stuff. That's the team we own. Everybody running circles around, yeah, making fun of us. I said, bump y'all, man. Y'all is a bunch of sissies. It's a joke. I mean, it's a real joke. Anyway, are there any more questions or comments?
I mean, it was
Does anything we've been talking about make any historical sense or, or anything? Huh?
put it like this. This morning, I asked an Ethiopian at the 7-Eleven, and I did it on purpose. I said, well, tell me what's going on, in your country, conflict.
Right, right.
What you think about it? And long story short, he said, I had to move here to see what America is doing in my country.
Right.
And I said, I don't have to say anything else. You got it. But this is what I think, that you said it already relate to you saying, things are events driven. And it's like, I don't know if people getting it, because I don't know what they read, or I don't know what they're looking at. But it seems like sometimes that stuff has to happen
Yeah.
for people to get it. chilling, but you know, we're not going through those struggles, and people are not going to get it until they're actually confronted with it. You know,
Right.
I don't know.
Right. Okay, here's the thing is, that's where As-Sabru wa Nifsul Iman comes in. Patience is half of faith. They always say get married is half of your religion. But there's hadith say, As-Sabru wa Nifsul Iman. Patience is half of faith. Okay, so right now,